our lesson plans, it's very important and quite easy actually to keep the partner language in mind. You should have a language target of the week, and as you're creating your lesson plans, think about how can I weave this in very quickly, very easily into what we're studying in our content. So let's just say, for example, I'm studying adjectives with my students, and I am now thinking about my math lesson. Well, I know that they're going to have a lot of story problems, and maybe one of the problems is talking about different color cars and different distances that they travel in order to get somewhere. I mean, that's a silly example, but you get what I'm saying. So it's very quick and very easy and important to just stop the kids real quick and say, hey, do a quick underline of all the adjectives that you see in this sentence. But in order to be prepared to do that, you as the teacher need to think ahead of the students to identify places that you can have those quick little moments of attention to language during content. So as you're doing your lesson planning, think about your language focus for the week and think about where are some tiny little moments throughout this content lesson where I can draw students' attention back to the language and the language target of the week, so that way we're constantly helping students see the language focus throughout content. So we're navigating content and language all the time. You would think that it would take a lot of time to constantly think about language throughout our content lessons. But actually, once you get the flow of it, it's quite easy. The time is in identifying and planning for your lessons and thinking about that language target for the week. What is it? What are you focusing on? And then as you are looking at your lessons, it's not hard to just say, how can I quickly weave this in? Give yourself 1 or 2 ways in which to do that. Ways to notice or practice, and that can be underlining, circling, highlighting, just a quick raise your hand if you see an adjective, or raise your hand if you see a past tense verb, whatever it may be that you're studying. But you as the teacher need to take that time up front to be prepared to ask those questions or have the students do that. It does not take a lot of time at all. It could take less than 20 seconds, and you have done a quick little draw attention to language through content. And that's how we build all of those beautiful metalinguistic skills for our students to help them reach the 3 goals of dual language immersion. Focusing on language doesn't have to be boring for our students. We, as the educators, have to do it so seamlessly and so quickly that they don't even know what's happening. We are charged with helping them reach the goal of bilingualism and biliteracy, proficiency, high proficiency in 2 languages. In order to do that, we have to be very systematic about building their language capacity in the partner language. So we, as the teachers, have to think about what's developmentally appropriate for our students at their particular grade level. Obviously, sitting and doing drills after drills for our students that will be super boring. But finding small ways to weave language in and helping students notice language helps them have a quick little grasp. It makes a connection in their brain about language through content, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and it's not super boring. We're not sitting here drilling. At their level, we can help them notice when the language target appears throughout the week, and we can do that in a way that is very developmentally appropriate and very fun. Let's just say it's a kindergarten class, and you're like, okay, stand up if you hear an adjective in this story. Super easy, right? That's a quick little thing. If you're a 7th grade teacher and you could say, all right, I need you to quickly underline 3 verbs that you see in the subjunctive. Those are quick little wins that you have with your students, and it's not sitting here and drilling them, and it's not taking a lot of your time or instructional time away from the content that you are responsible for covering as well. It is just making it very quick, very seamless, but also planting seeds about the language that they're learning with our students constantly throughout the day. Students need to be producing language all the time. Every time that we walk through dual language immersion classrooms, we are looking to hear a low hum of noise, not out of control noise, not constant talking for the sake of talking, but very systematic and strategic moments where students are allowed to communicate and produce language. Why is that important? Think about it. How many people do you know that say, oh, I studied this language in high school or even college. and I can't speak it anymore. Or I can hear it and I can understand it, but I can't speak it. That's because the production skills are a higher level of language acquisition. Receptive skills are the first to come, and they're easy. That's why you can hear and listen and read and understand a language much faster than it feels like you can produce the language. That's why it's so important in our dual language immersion classrooms that we set up the classroom to encourage that type of production from day one. Even if it's rote memory, even if it's things that they are just saying back to you, we want them producing language all the time. We want them turning and talking to a partner so that they are practicing the language. That helps them reach higher levels of proficiency. We will not help them if we just allow them to sit in the receptive space and only hear and listen and read rather than produce the language. We need them producing the language to reach those higher levels of proficiency. So think about different ways that you can have your students constantly be engaged with the production of language. Are they writing? Are they speaking? Are they even speaking to themselves? All of this is production. We want them producing language as often as possible because that will help move them along the proficiencies much faster.